Philippe, nice to see you. Thanks for your
Nice
time
to
as
see you
always. Probably just start with your considered reflections on Birmingham, really. Clearly, in the intervening period, you'll have debriefed it with the coaches, with the players, with all the support staff. In terms of the key themes, was that how you saw it, kind of on the day?
The same things that I said after the game. So we know there's a lot of job to be done. Was a big difference first and second half in our structure. So of course we addressed it to the players with videos, with the session. I don't want to go too much in details about that because we don't want to make our opponents stronger and stronger, knowing where we have to work on. So it was a long session, video session, because we had a lot of things to address, but also the positive points from the second half. We're building a house now, and the foundation is not good yet. So we're first starting with the foundations, and also looking for the things that are good or that are better already in this first game than it was in the games before. So we created more chances, more combination play, better chances than a few weeks ago.
More in general terms, and how do you approach when you debrief after maybe a defeat on that scale? Is it you addressing the players? Do you ask for feedback? Do you want them to question? Are you looking for them to stand up and play a full part in that process?
Yes, it's one story together, and I use data also about the physicality in the game, what was not good enough for me, and it's work with all staff together, with everybody, but also with the players engaged. There's no use of a monologue and only saying this, that. It's one story together, and I feel this group of players, they want to become better. They know it's necessary. They want to get results. They want to get more points. It's about gelling everything together, creating foundations that in every game situation they know what to do together, not only individual, and to grow out of that. So there are a lot of new players in this team, in this squad. A lot of young guys also who have less the experience in new situations. For some, it's the first time in another club. So they need time to adapt and to become better.
You touched on it there again, but I was going to come to that point because you mentioned it after the game, that lack of physicality, and asked you to elaborate on that. Is that winning your individual duels? Is it pressing individually and collective? When you talk about lack of physicality, what actually is it you wasn't happy with what you saw on Saturday?
For sure, in this first half, the structure was not good. Because of that, they could play between our lines. What I don't like, what I hate, that our structure is not good. And if you are too far away of your opponent, you cannot come in a duel. And that happened in this first half, and we get 3 goals against. Like that. Second half, we only had one really chance against, where we make a mistake in our passing, but not the structural thing anymore. So that was an improvement for sure, and a big one. The good thing also, the reaction in the second half. The team had a lot of knocks last couple of months. They had also moments that they didn't react well after going behind. Now they showed resilience in the second half to keep on fighting and going for the result. And we could have scored 2 more or 3 more in a very lucky day. So they showed the resilience to restart and show a better phase of themselves as an individual and as a group. And those are things we need to continue doing now.
I mean, you clearly, as you said it today, you said it after the game, you felt second half you were able to impart some instructions, show them a few things. Structurally, you were able to address some of the issues of that first half. But the actual goals, how concerning was that? Because it's basic defending. It's leaving players free in the box. It's not sensing that danger. Is that a lack of confidence, or is that, as you said, you touched on it here again today, but also pre-match, not being able to handle that adversity? Is that a mentality issue just because of where the season has gone?
No, I don't think it's a mentality issue that the players don't want, for sure not. It's maybe a confidence issue, yes. And also all respect towards Birmingham. They are building a team now for 2-3 years in a certain style of playing. It was also not from the first day that it was fluent, that it was comfortable, that it was really good. They bought also a lot of quality. If you see the players that they can bring on, So yeah, we need to work hard to get that level and pass that level.
I mean, you'll tell me different, but it looks like looking at your previous teams that you do like that part of the process of pressing, I guess, is that high defensive line and, defenders who are good in terms of recovery speed. It looks like from the outside you don't really have too many of those type of defenders. Maybe Cordoba has got that athletic pace to recover if there's a situation in behind. Is that a concern moving forward? Because you've only got these players to work with between now and January.
Of course, you need to adapt to the players that you have, and if you look really deep into my teams in the past, there were certain differences. You need to adapt to the kind of players you have, for sure. I don't want to go too much in detail, for sure not in press conference for that, but yeah, it's different. Kind of strikers can make for example, your pressing different. Kind of defenders, of course, can make your structure different. But I don't believe that we need to sit on our 16 all the time and only defend and then hope that something falls out of the sky. I don't think that the fans of Norwich want that also, that you have that kind of football. So we need to create also defenders who can play in moments with space in their back. So they need to learn that.
You said again today, but you also said it here, prior to the weekend, in a player like Josh Sargent, you've got somebody at this striker, at this level, he's proven, but you have to do a better job collectively of providing him with that support. Did you get your sense that second half, generally, not so much in regards to Josh, but that chance creation was better, and that, of course, has to move forward and increase because you want to maximise what you've got in him, really, at this level.
What was your feeling around it?
I must confess I wasn't at the game, so I didn't see it. Yeah.
No, it was better second half, and we had a few good actions. We had a few good chances also. Josh also had a good chance. He created also one really good chance for Matthias, and shot on the 16. So no, I'm really happy to have a striker like Josh. He can help the team. It's not only a goal scorer, but also somebody who works hard, somebody who creates also chances for other players. But he needs to get more support. And that was more the case second half. We had more control of the ball. We had more shots on target than Birmingham in the second half. But we need to create that it becomes 90 minutes long like that. Those are the steps to be made. I'm now, it was a surprise. I was driving here with my assistant this morning from the hotel, and he said, tomorrow we're 1 week here. So it's the 6th day. It feels already like we're 4 months here, and in a positive way, because we had a lot of meetings with players, with staff, with people around the staff. It's been very busy days, but nobody can change totally everything in 6 days. It's impossible, even in 3 months not. But we're going to go forward step by step.
And on that particular point, though, and again, you clearly have done a lot of research before you accepted this position. But I think you said after the game, it's only when you're inside the building, when you're only maybe stood on the touchline watching those players, that you get a real sense of maybe the situation that you've got to deal with. I mean, does it feel a bigger job now, having gone for that 90 minutes?
No, I don't think it's fair to have a conclusion now from my side. So I saw more things already. I'm 6 days now watching these players in every move, in everything they do, only not when they're sleeping. But did you think that Cholis was a good player at Norwich?
Did I think?
Yeah? What was your opinion?
Yeah.
That it was a very good player?
Well, it's hard to say in the Norwich shirt because he didn't. I know where you're going with this, but he didn't get a huge amount of opportunity. Some would say.
So it's really dangerous to take these conclusions after a few days or even a few months when a player is in a building, and not only here, it's all over the world. People need adaptation time also towards everything, life, kind of football, dressing room, everything. So we're gonna push them really hard to adapt very fast. But okay, giving his example, he's now a player who's scoring in Champions League, he's scoring for his national team, and there are teams wanting to pay 30-40 million for him. And here I hear everybody said, it's not a good player. So it's really dangerous to do short-term assessments about people, about players. You need to give them time. And for me, a player needs in between six months and 1 year to have a good opinion about somebody. But it doesn't mean that he cannot. It doesn't mean that he has 6 months or 1 year that he doesn't have to perform. That's not the case. We need faster results. We need faster reaction. We need faster points, of course. So I'm going to use all the tools with all the staff and everything around the players to get the best out of them as fast as possible.
And that kind of leads me on to quite nicely a player who is here and maybe has had, not identical to Jolis, but has come in and shown a good few periods, but at the minute isn't in the 11. That's Jacob Wright. I'm just really keen to get your thoughts on him because we know his backstory. You know, he came through Man City's academy. He came here on loan. He was very good. Permanent deal. Started this season in the team. Then he got himself, red carded, and he hasn't really had a look in since. But just in terms of a midfield profile, because I think externally the view has been maybe this season that in that area of the pitch, the centre of the park, that there hasn't been enough control, not been able to find players who can set a tempo and give the team structurally that kind of balance almost. So what are your thoughts on Jacob?
I don't want to go too much into individuals, but I see with Jacob a player who's talented, who has good ability on the ball. I need to get to know him also off the ball, how he is, because you always need to find, of course, a good balance in your team, all over and for sure in the middle of the park. How is the complementarity between different players? But he's showing in the training the right mentality. He shows he wants to work. He's still young. He's 19, I think, or just 20. I think still 19. So I think it's a player with potential for the future, for sure. Yeah.
And obviously anybody looks at you and your career, I mean, you reference Canaries, sorry about the pronunciation. But,
no, it's not a problem.
But in terms of if you see a young player, even if it's a young player who maybe is coming through at the academy level, if you feel they're good enough, you will give them that platform.
Yes, for sure. And it's about them showing themselves in every training session, in everything around the training session also, to be a top professional, to show that they want to be in the squad. And for me, there's no difference between somebody who's 17 or 37. If the guy from 17 show more quality, he will be in the team. Elias Ben Seguir was 16 or 17 when he came into the team in Monaco. So, no, there's no difference in age. It's what you show on the pitch. And it's about not only the individual, but how do they complement with all the rest around. And I don't have the luxury now to say the next 3, 4, 5 games I'm gonna change every time half a team, and every time I use different players so I can see them all in game situations. We don't have this luxury now, so I need to keep also some foundations in the team and build on it.
Yeah, and I was going to ask you, obviously bringing it round to tomorrow night, and in terms of the personnel, I mean, you were asked, you didn't make a change at half time because you really maybe wanted to give those starters an opportunity to go out and show a different face. But without giving too much away, but what are your thoughts in terms of the personnel? Do you need to turn it around maybe just because of the time between the two games?
Yeah, there will be some changes, yes. It's necessary also with the turnaround of 3 games in a week, with some players also who would struggle otherwise with the recovery and everything. So it's long discussions also with the staff to make a good assessment to come through these 3 games in a very good way, to take as much points as possible, but also not to get more injured players. So that's the tight balance to make now.
And on that front, any issues fitness-wise from the guys who are on duty at the weekend?
No, that's the positive news, and I'm going to touch wood. No, positive news, everybody came well out of the game.
And I mean, you said prior to the weekend that none of those 9 or 10 injured, they'd be back in the next week or two, so that still remains the case. You're not expecting them this week?
No, if I say something 3 days ago that it will not be the next week, then it will not be the next week. Otherwise, I would not say.
Understood. Now, Oxford, you only have to look at the league table. That tells you what's at stake in this game tomorrow. Do you embrace that internally and the pressure that comes with that, or do you try and push it away? Because we all know what's at stake.
It's not about pushing away or embracing it or whatever. It's like I said from the beginning, this team needs to focus on themselves to get the best out of themselves and the best out of the team and to perform well. If you're only focused about the results, you don't do the right things on the pitch. We first need to do the right things together in every moment of the game, the right things together on the pitch, and then the results follow. It's not the other way around, because then you forget to do the right things on the pitch.
You will know, you won't need me to sit here and tell you that at home it's been, well, choose whatever word you want to use. I mean, they're only Norwich are the only team in this league now who haven't got a point at home, let alone a win. From somebody who clearly has looked at that and observed that, albeit with a degree of detachment, what are the factors? Why do you think at home it just hasn't happened at all this season?
That's a hard one to say, because there were also games where it could have happened. But I think the very important thing now is not to look back all the time and to focus on that and lose all the energy what happened wrong. It's to look forward and to make things better. And to make things better and to get these points again. And to get this positive dynamic again. And to get this synergy again with your fans. All the focus needs to be on that, not on the past.
Yeah, and a final one for me on that very point. As you said at your unveiling, you can't do this alone. If we're going to get out of this situation, it's togetherness inside the club, outside the club. As you rightly say there, those home fans haven't had a lot to cheer about this season. They're probably frustrated. In some cases, there's clearly anger there. But final message from you, just come, get behind you and the players and try and drive it forward rather than looking back.
Yes, for sure. And everybody who's ever been on a pitch, they know also much more the importance than when you're never on it, about how much energy fans can give you when they cheer you. And I have to say the fans were also amazing in Birmingham, also the second half, after a bad performance in the first half. So they can have the guarantee from me that I will push really hard here to make everything better and to work really hard with everybody in the building. And with their support, I think there can be a very good period for Norwich to come in the short and middle long term. But we need them. We need them, but the players need to show also. So it's from both sides. Like I said from the beginning, you cannot take things for granted. You need to show things on the pitch also.
Absolutely.